Good morning. Today's Bible reading comes from Jeremiah 50 through 52. So let's get into that. The message of God through the prophet Jeremiah on Babylon, land of the Chaldeans. Get the word out to the nations. Preach it. Go public with this. Broadcast it far and wide. Babylon taken. God Bel hanging his head in shame. God Marduk exposed as a fraud. All her god idols shuffling in shame. All her play gods exposed as cheap frauds. For a nation will come out of the north to attack her, reduce her cities to rubble. Empty of life, no animals, no people, not a sound, not a movement, not a breath. In those days, at that time, God's decree, the people of Israel will come, the people of Judah with them. Walking and weeping, they'll seek me, their God. They'll ask directions to Zion and set their faces toward Zion. They'll come and hold tight to God, bound in a covenant eternal they'll never forget. My people were lost sheep. Their shepherds led them astray. They abandoned them in the mountains where they wandered aimless through the hills. They lost track of home, couldn't remember where they came from. Everyone who met them took advantage of them. Their enemies had no qualms. Fair game, they said. They walked out on God. They abandoned the true pasture, the hope of their parents. But now, get out of Babylon as fast as you can. Be rid of that Babylonian country. On your way, good sheepdogs lead, but don't you be led. Lead the way home. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm rallying a host of nations against Babylon. They'll come out of the north, attack, and take her. Oh, they know how to fight, these armies. They never come home empty-handed. Babylon is ripe for picking. All her plunderers will fill their bellies. God's decree. You Babylonians had a good time while it lasted, didn't you? You lived it up, exploiting and using my people. Frisky calves romping in lush pastures, wild stallions out having a good time. Well, your mother would hardly be proud of you. The woman who bore you wouldn't be pleased. Look at what's come of you, a nothing nation. Rubble and garbage and weeds, emptied of life by my holy anger. A desert of death and emptiness. Travelers who pass by Babylon will gasp, appalled, shaking their heads at such a come down. Gang up on Babylon, pin her down, throw everything you have against her, hold nothing back, knock her flat. She sinned. Oh, how she sinned against me. Shout battle cries from every direction. All the fight has gone out of her. Her defenses have been flattened, her walls smashed. Operation God's vengeance. Pile on the vengeance. Do to her as she has done. Give her a good dose of her own medicine. Destroy her farms and farmers, ravage her fields, empty her barns. And you, captives, while the destruction rages, get out while the getting's good. Get out fast and run for home. Israel is a scattered flock, hunted down by lions. The king of Assyria started the carnage. The king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, has completed the job, gnawing the bones clean. And now this is what God of the angel armies, the God of Israel, has to say. Just watch. I'm bringing doom on the king of Babylon and his land. The same doom I brought on the king of Assyria. But Israel I'll bring home to good pastures. He'll graze on the hills of Carmel and Bashan, on the slopes of Ephraim and Gilead. He will eat to his heart's content. In those days and at that time, God's decree, they'll look high and low for a sign of Israel's guilt. Nothing. Search nook and cranny for a trace of Judah's sin. Nothing. These people that I've saved will start out with a clean slate. Attack Mariathaim, land of rebels. Go after Pekod, country of doom. Hunt them down. Make a clean sweep. God's decree. These are my orders. Do what I tell you. The thunderclap of battle shakes the foundations. The hammer has been hammered, smashed, and splintered. Babylon pummeled beyond recognition. I set out a trap, and you were caught in it. Oh, Babylon, you never knew what hit you. Caught and held in the steel grip of that trap. That's what you get for taking on God. I, God, opened my arsenal. I brought out my weapons of wrath. The Master, God of the angel armies, has a job to do in Babylon. Come at her from all sides. Break into her granaries. Shovel her into piles and burn her up. Leave nothing. Leave no one. Kill all her young Turks. Send them to their doom. Doom to them. Yes, doomsday. The clock has finally run out on them. And here's a surprise. Runaways and escapees from Babylon show up in Zion reporting the news of God's vengeance, taking vengeance for my own temple. Call in the troops against Babylon, anyone who can shoot straight. Tighten the noose, leave no loopholes. Give her back as good as she gave, a dose of her own medicine. Her brazen insolence is an outrage against God, the Holy of Israel. And now she pays, her young strewn dead in the streets, her soldiers dead, silent forever. God's decree. Do you get it, Mr. Pride? I'm your enemy, decree of the Master, God of the angel armies. Time's run out on you, that's right, it's doomsday. Mr. Pride will fall flat on his face. No one will offer him a hand. I'll set his towns on fire. The fire will spread wild through the country. And here's more from the God of the angel armies. The people of Israel are beaten down, the people of Judah along with them. Their oppressors have them in a grip of steel. They won't let go. But the rescuer is strong, God of the angel armies. Yes, I will take their side. I will come to their rescue. I'll soothe their land, but rough up the people of Babylon. It's all-out war in Babylon, God's decree. Total war against people, leaders, and the wise. War to the death on her boasting pretenders, fools one and all. War to the death on her soldiers, cowards to a man. War to the death on her hired killers, gutless wonders. War to the death on her banks, looted. War to the death on her water supply, drained dry. A land of make-believe gods gone crazy, hobgoblins. The place will be haunted with jackals and scorpions, night owls and vampire bats. No one will ever live there again. The land will reek with the stench of death. It will join Sodom and Gomorrah and their neighbors, the cities I did away with, God's decree. No one will live there again. No one will again draw breath in that land, ever. And now, watch this. People pouring out of the north, hordes of people. A mob of kings stirred up from far-off places, flourishing deadly weapons. Barbarians they are, cruel and pitiless. Roaring and relentless like ocean breakers, they come riding fierce stallions. In battle formation, ready to fight you, daughter Babylon. Babylon's king hears them coming. He goes white as a ghost, limp as a dish rag. Terror-stricken, he doubles up in pain, helpless to fight, like a woman giving birth to a baby. And now watch this, like a lion coming up from the thick jungle of the Jordan, looking for prey in the mountain pastures. I'll take over and pounce. I'll take my pick of the flock. Who's to stop me? And the so-called shepherds are helpless before me. So listen to this plan that God has worked out against Babylon. the blueprint of what he's prepared for dealing with Chaldea. Believe it or not, the young, the vulnerable, mere lambs and kids will be dragged off. Believe it or not, the flock in shock, helpless to watch, watches it happen. When the shout goes up, Babylon's down. The very earth will shudder at the sound. The news will be heard all over the world. There's more. God says more. Watch this. I'm whipping up a death-dealing hurricane against Babylon, Hurricane Persia against all who live in that perverse land. I'm sending a cleanup crew into Babylon. They'll clean the place out from top to bottom. When they get through, there'll be nothing left of her worth taking or talking about. They won't miss a thing, a total and final doomsday. Fighters will fight with everything they've got. It's no holds barred. They will spare nothing and no one. It's final and wholesale destruction. The end. Babylon littered with the wounded, streets piled with corpses. Turns out that Israel and Judah are not widowed, after all. As their God, God of the angel armies, I am still alive and well. Committed to them, even though they filled their land with sin against Israel's most holy God. Get out of Babylon as fast as you can. Run for your lives. Save your necks. And they'll never wake up, God's decree. I'll haul these lions off to the slaughterhouse like the lambs, rams, and goats, never to be heard of again. Babylon is finished. The pride of the whole earth is flat on her face. What a come down for Babylon to end up inglorious in the sewer. Babylon drowned in chaos, battered by waves of enemy soldiers. Her towns stink with decay and rot, the land empty and bare and sterile. No one lives in these towns anymore. Travelers give them wide berth. I'll bring doom on the glutton God Bel in Babylon. I'll make him vomit up all he gulped down. No more visitors stream into this place, admiring and gawking at the wonders of Babylon. The wonders of Babylon are no more. Run for your lives, my dear people. Run and don't look back. Get out of this place while you can, this place torched by God's raging anger. Don't lose hope. Don't ever give up when the rumors pour in hot and heavy. One year it's this, the next year it's that. Rumors of violence, rumors of war. Trust me, the time is coming when I'll put the no gods of Babylon in their place. I'll show up the whole country as a sickening fraud, with dead bodies strewn all over the place. Heaven and earth, angels and people, will throw a victory party over Babylon when the avenging armies from the north descend on her. God's decree. Babylon must fall, compensation for the war dead in Israel. Babylonians will be killed because of all the Babylonian killing. But you exiles who have escaped a Babylonian death, get out and fast. Remember God in your long and distant exile. Keep Jerusalem alive in your memory. How we've been humiliated, taunted, and abused, kicked around for so long that we hardly know who we are, and we hardly know what to think. Our old sanctuary, God's house, desecrated by strangers. I know, but trust me, the time is coming, God's decree, when I'll bring doom on her no good idols, and all over this land her wounded will groan. Even if Babylon climbed a ladder to the moon and pulled up the ladder so that no one could get to her, that wouldn't stop me. I'd make sure my avengers would reach her, God's decree. But now listen, do you hear it? A cry out of Babylon, an unearthly wail out of Chaldea. God is taking his wrecking ball to Babylon. We'll be hearing the last of her noise, deep throes like crashing of waves, Death rattles like the roar of cataracts. The avenging destroyer is about to enter Babylon. Her soldiers are taken, her weapons are trashed. Indeed, God is a God who evens things out. I'll end up with their just deserts. I'll get them drunk, the whole lot of them. Princes, sages, governors, soldiers. Dead drunk, they'll sleep and sleep and sleep and never wake up. The king's decree. His name, God of the angel armies. God of the angel armies speaks. The city walls of Babylon, these massive walls, will be flattened, and those city gates, huge gates, will be set on fire. The harder you work at this empty life, the less you are. Nothing comes of ambition like this but ashes. Jeremiah the prophet gave a job to Seraiah, son of Neriah, son of Maaseiah, when Seraiah went with Zedekiah, king of Judah, to Babylon. It was in the 4th year of Zedekiah's reign. Seraiah was in charge of travel arrangements. Jeremiah had written down in a little booklet all the bad things that would come down on Babylon. He told Seraiah, "When you get to Babylon, read this out in public. Read. You, O God, said that you would destroy this place so that nothing could live here, neither human nor animal, a wasteland to top all wastelands, an eternal nothing. When you finish reading the page, tie a stone to it, throw it into the river Euphrates, and watch it sink. Then say, that's how Babylon will sink to the bottom and stay there after the disaster I'm going to bring upon her." Zedekiah was 21 years old when he started out as king. He was king in Jerusalem for 11 years. His mother's name was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah. Her hometown was Libnah. As far as God was concerned, Zedekiah was just one more evil king, a carbon copy of Jehoiakim. The source of all this doom to Jerusalem and Judah was God's anger. God turned his back on them as an act of judgment. Zedekiah revolted against the king of Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar set out for Jerusalem with a full army. He set up camp and sealed off the city by building siege mounds around it. He arrived on the 9th year and 10th month of Zedekiah's reign. The city was under siege for 19 months, till the 11th year of Zedekiah. By the 4th month of Zedekiah's 11th year, on the 9th day of the month, the famine was so bad that there wasn't so much as a crumb of bread for anyone. Then the Babylonians broke through the city walls. Under cover of the night darkness, the entire Judean army fled through an opening in the wall. It was the gate between the two walls above the king's garden. They slipped through the lines of the Babylonians who surrounded the city and headed for the Jordan into the Arabah Valley. But the Babylonians were in full pursuit. They caught up with them in the plains of Jericho. But by then Zedekiah's army had deserted and was scattered. The Babylonians captured Zedekiah and marched him off to the king of Babylon at Riblah and Hamath, who tried and sentenced him on the spot. The king of Babylon then killed Zedekiah's sons right before his eyes. The summary murder of his sons was the last thing Zedekiah saw, for they then blinded him. The king of Babylon followed that up by killing all the officials of Judah. Securely handcuffed, Zedekiah was hauled off to Babylon. The king of Babylon threw him in prison where he stayed until the day he died. In the 19th year of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, on the 7th day of the 5th month, Nebuzaradan, the king of Babylon's chief deputy, arrived in Jerusalem. He burned the temple of God to the ground, went on to the royal palace, and then finished off the city. He burned the whole place down. He put the Babylonian troops he had with him to work knocking down the city walls. Finally, he rounded up everyone left in the city, including those who had earlier deserted to the king of Babylon, and took them off into exile. He left a few poor dirt farmers behind to tend the vineyards and what was left of the fields. The Babylonians broke up the bronze pillars and bronze washstands and the huge bronze basin, the sea, that was in the temple of God, and hauled the bronze off to Babylon. They also took the various bronze crafted liturgical accessories, as well as the gold and silver censers and sprinkling bowls used in the services of the temple worship. The king's deputy didn't miss a thing. He took every scrap of precious metal he could find. The amount of bronze they got from the 2 pillars, the sea, the 12 bronze bowls that supported the sea, and the 10 washstands that Solomon had made for the temple of God was enormous. They couldn't weigh it all. Each pillar stood 27 feet high with a circumference of 18 feet. The pillars were hollow, the bronze a little less than an inch thick. Each pillar was topped with an ornate capital of bronze, pomegranates and filigree, which added another 7.5 feet to its height. There were 96 pomegranates evenly spaced in all, 100 pomegranates worked into the filigree. The king's deputy took a number of special prisoners: Seraiah the chief priest, Zephaniah the associate priest, 3 wardens, the chief remaining army officer, 7 of the king's counselors who happened to be in the city, the chief recruiting officer for the army, and 60 men of standing from among the people who were still there. Nebuzaradan, the king's deputy, marched them all off to the king of Babylon at Riblah. And there at Riblah, in the land of Hamath, the king of Babylon killed the lot of them in cold blood. Judah went into exile, orphaned from her land. 3,023 men of Judah were taken into exile by Nebuchadnezzar in the 7th year of his reign. 832 from Jerusalem were taken in the 18th year of his reign. 745 men from Judah were taken off by Nebuzaradan, the king's chief deputy in Nebuchadnezzar's 23rd year. The total number of exiles was 4,600. When Jehoiachin, king of Judah, had been in exile for 37 years, evil Merodach became king in Babylon and let Jehoiachin out of prison. This release took place on the 25th day of the 12th month. The king treated him most courteously and gave him preferential treatment beyond anything experienced by the political prisoners held in Babylon. Jehoiachin took off his prison garb and from then on ate his meals in company with the king. The king provided everything he needed to live comfortably for the rest of his life. And that is it for this Bible reading. As always, get in touch with God today, and I will see you again tomorrow.